I don't care.
Leave me alone.
All you want.
I don't want proof of this. Please leave me alone.
Hey men, leave women the fuck alone. When they're in public, when they're doing anything, you don't have the right to their attention. You don't have the right to step into their personal space. You don't have the right to them. Especially if they're making it very clear they don't want to be talked to. But even when they're not, unless a woman is giving you enthusiastic and continuous body language and signs that she wants to talk to your ugly dumbass, then leave her the fuck alone. Find a date a different way. Okay? It's not clever. It's not cool. It's not cute. It's garbage. It's absolute garbage behavior. And you're a garbage person if you do it. I don't care if it's in public. It doesn't fucking matter. You don't have the right to her, and you need to leave her alone. And this is Bacon.
That's okay.
This is Cynthia Ortiz. These are the Charles Perry Stalker Podcast. It's December 19, 2023. And I rejected Mr. Perry. I feel like he's a disgust and a turnoff. He's lazy. He's fat. He's a pervert. He doesn't do anything all day but do what a monkey could do. A monkey can watch TV all day. A monkey can make weird noises all day. A monkey can bother people all day. A monkey can cause trouble and destroy things. A monkey can play with little girl toys and pretend. And that's the best you can do. A dignitary does not do that. A power guy does not do that. You don't see, you're always the Ted Cruz wannabe. He's not doing that. He's working. If you want to be like Ted Cruz, go work like Ted Cruz. And leave other people alone. Mind your own business. So I rejected you. I don't like you. I don't go out with men who peep and bother other people and butt into stuff that doesn't concern them. I don't go out with canned food guys. Not my thing. My friend tried to tell you that. She's sleeping in her car because that's the better deal than you. You know why? Because you'd make her sleep in her car. We watched her with Saeed. She moved to be with Saeed. She moved twice to get away from you. What does that tell you? You're not her cup of tea. You need to act like a grown man, take your little girl panties off, put your big boy pants on, and move on. You're a rejected fail. Too stupid to figure out how to move on. You don't know how bad your situation is. Our guys got something from someone here in Tulsa. Charles Perry does not want Cynthia to know he's got Huntington's disease. He's telling everybody he has Tourette's. He does not have Tourette's. He has Huntington's disease. It causes paranoia, delusion, hallucinations. You see things that are not there. Paranoia, psychosis, impaired cognitive reasoning. You can't tell cause and effect. When you do the crime to me, you get caught. In 10 years, nothing else has happened but that. We control the flow of information. Always have. We control it. Okay? It's not up to you ever when we find out what you're trying to do before you do it. It's never been up to you. It will never be up to you. You're about to go to jail. We're going to use all that to put you in jail. And you act like you have no idea what's happening. It's embarrassing. You're embarrassing me because you're stupid. I don't do stupid. I can't do it. I'm not a special education teacher. I don't have puppets and crayons and finger paints for you. You have an attorney. And your questions must be directed to your attorney. It is highly inappropriate for you to contact me, sir. All Mr. Perry did the last 2 days is bother the fuck out of me, asking me about leaks. I've never answered that question. It never gets you answers. What it gets us answers. When you contact me, every time you contact me, we find out more. You cause a problem for me, they cause 20 for you, and they're happy to do it. They're cops. They enjoy causing problems for criminals such as yourselves. You're not wanted. You're not loved. You're told on and told on and told on. It's been that way every day for a decade. And you act like you're so dumb you don't know that's what's happening. While you run around and go, how did she find out about that? How does she know about that? This has never happened before. And we're like, it has every day, all day long for 10 years. Every time Charles contacts me, every time Charles invades my privacy or anybody invades my privacy, and every time you cause a loss or a problem for me, that's what happens. Every day that I'm broke, every day Mike's in jail, we get more and more and more and more and more because everybody wants you to stop it. Your conduct is illegal, deviant, offensive, disgusting, sickening, and so we're getting the help and you're getting told on. It's been that way for a decade, dum-dum. Why can't you keep up? So, the guy says, I'm sick and tired of watching him torture her and torment her and try to ruin her. So make sure she finds out. He has Huntington's disease. He's a delusional whack job diagnosed. He does not have Tourette's. You can't talk to him for more than a minute without being able to tell he's a whack job. He's a wackadoo. He has no idea what half of what people say to him, you can tell by the look on his face. He has no idea what they're saying. Our shrink went through all Mr. Perry's emails. And she said, I'm looking at his emails. I think he's got out. This was before we knew he had Huntington's disease. She goes, I'm reading his emails. And you can tell that the email to him, it's going right over his head. He has no fucking idea what the guy's saying. His responses are 2 to 3 sentences, 3 to 5 word sentences. We've not done that since first grade. These are not the responses that are appropriate for what's said to him. They're not appropriate. It's like he has no idea. And so I don't believe that he would pass a cognitive reasoning exam that I give my first grade patients. I think he doesn't know. And he's just doing the best he can. I believe him to be severely mentally ill and severely mentally retarded. Retarded means to be held back. It's a legit medical term. To be held back by a disease. To be stunted in some way. You're held back. So she said, I think he's got either Alzheimer's or aphasia or senile dementia or maybe all three. Maybe some form of all three. But he's got some sort of aging degenerative disease that has incapacitated him intellectually. He can't figure out what you're talking about. Just a normal conversation goes right over his head. His responses are always inappropriate, and you got to repeat yourself over and over and over and over, and he still has no idea. And we heard when I first got home, somebody said, Charles Perry will come in my office and ask me if he can hurt Cynthia. Why the hell does he want to hurt her? What? Nobody does that. No normal person does that. So we'll explain to him, no, you can't. We drop everything we're doing. We're very busy. He's taking up our time. We hear that complaint a lot, Mr. Perry, that you are wasting other people's time. And they're sick of it. Sick of it. You don't have that right. You need to get busy in your own life. So, and stop bothering other people. We hear the complaint all the time. We're sick and tired of taking his phone calls. Because you talk to him, it's like talking in circles. He can't understand a word you say. And he will take up hours of your time if you let him. Talking in circles. And failing to respond like he understands what's happening to him, what it means that she has all this, or what you're trying to say to him. He's just not all there. His elevator's not going to the top. Lights are on, nobody's home. It's very frustrating. I can imagine she's really frustrated. You can't reason with crazy and you can't fix stupid. He's living, breathing proof of that. So, she said, the guy said, I will explain to him, you can't do that because XYZ. And he'll act like he understands, and the next day, or a day or two later, he comes in and asks the same exact question, like he had never had that conversation. And once again, we got to drop everything we're doing out of our very, very busy day and take our time to explain the same thing we explained a day or two before, and he seemed like he understood it, and clearly he didn't, because now we're repeating. You got to say the same thing for the guy over and over and over, and he's still not getting it, and he thinks he's a dignitary. Nope, you're not. You're just stupid. Now, are you stupid because you have Huntington's disease, or are you just stupid? You tell us. Why are you failing to respond like you understand what it means when we get inside information on your criminal activity, allegedly, that no one else has? And you guys run around, how'd she find out? How'd she know? That never happened before. Yep, it has happened before, every day for a decade. Why are we always repeating the same thing for you? You know how many times we say something One time. My guys will not call you back, Mr. Perry. They know you're looking for them. And he goes, I'm not going to do what the locals are doing in Tulsa and spend hours of my time on the phone repeating myself. What I said is, her privacy is not to be invaded by anybody. She has the right to her privacy. You don't have the right to invade it. She is not to be you don't contact her again. Don't. She didn't want to talk to you. Fuck off. Be a man about it. And quit acting like a princess. Sissified. And don't make her broke. You don't have the right to get in her wallet. Get out of it. Respect the law. Respect her. Respect yourself, for God's sake. Get some dignity and class. Or I'm going to get a lot of evidence and put you in jail and do it for you. That's your choice. You can live with your choices, can't you? I'm not interested. I heard one of those guys talking this morning. Do you think she would be open to any kind of conversation at all? No. This is my conversation. I said no. Human trafficking, stalking, forcing yourself on a woman that doesn't want you, all of that is illegal. You are to fuck off. Remember, we control the flow of information, not you. We got your people's names, your accomplice. You sold me to some guy named Larry. He's a Houston realtor. It is illegal to traffic humans. It's illegal to make someone a slave. Prostitution's illegal. It's sure as shit illegal to make someone be a prostitute. My answer is not only no, but fuck you for even asking. You are off your nut. When you do the crime to me, you get caught, by the way. Right? So we got Larry's name. We got Tim, your pilot, whose transponder strangely doesn't work every time he kidnaps a victim because you can't see where he's landing if the transponder's not working right. FAA might want to talk to Tim. They can ground your ass, Tim. Greg, Tim, Larry, Oscar, Bruce, Lucius, we hear, and David Roberson are the ones that killed Lucky and framed Mike, almost killed Mike. Is that true? Prove it or don't. Don't you allege that I can't prove anything I say and that I'm lying and know I'm lying? Okay, we'll prove he didn't do it. We know Mike didn't do it. So who had the motive to kill Chief Miller and almost kill Mike? And when Mike didn't die, you did the same thing to him that you did to me, and you false arrested him, and you committed perjury, and you knew you committed perjury, and you committed fraud. Mr. Perry, when you contact me, we always get more. Do you like that? You seem to like that. You've got nothing else for 10 years. You have zero chance of a date with me. You're a fat, lazy turn-off. I don't go out with peeping toms. I don't go out with alleged cop killers. I don't go out with alleged pedophiles. I don't go out with alleged human traffickers. And I don't go out with canned food guys. My friend said that. She's sleeping in her car because that's better than being with you. You know what I saw when she was with Saeed? He would have never, ever let that happen. And you want to blame a bad economy? I believe you're full of shit. You know what Saeed did? Made a job for her. You know what else he did? I drove up in my Saturn. It was the first car I could buy on a loan. And I was very proud of my Saturn at the time. Saturns were the bomb. That was it. I mean, you got a Saturn, you were cool. I got my Saturn and I drive to Vegas. And Saeed says, let's go get you a new car. And I'm like, what? And he goes, we have a business now. I'm going to make sure we all make money. You'll be able to pay it just fine. It took me to get an Infiniti Q45. That's a $40,000 car. It was like a Mercedes. That's how Saeed took care of me. I didn't miss a meal. He took me to dinner every night. He made sure I made money the way I wanted to. He supported my goals. Okay? That's the kind of guy I want. He worked his ass off. I don't go out with lazy. I don't go out with peeping toms. I don't go out with pathetics. I don't go out with wannabes. I don't go out with canned food. And I sure shit don't go out with men who treat women as badly as you do. You get anywhere near me, I will kick the fuck out of you. Do you understand me? You've been recorded talking about killing me more than once. You're a stalker. You've been recorded talking about kidnapping me, stealing my car, to force me to do what you want. Be a prostitute for you so you can make bank. So, you get anywhere near me, I will kick the ever-living fuck out of you, Mr. Perry. I don't go where you are. You would have to come where I am, which is stalking. So if you do that, I don't have a gun. I don't, I believe if somebody wants to have a gun and they want to get it legally, they should be able to do that. Personally, I think it's, I just don't want one. I don't want one. But if Mr. Perry gets near me, I promise you I can kick the fuck out of him before he knows what hit him. I've said it. That's what I'll do. So you want to try to have a conversation with me against my will? This is my conversation. I don't have anything to say to you. You stupid little fuck. You are the most nasty, depraved, demented piece of shit I've ever met in my life. You're a job for me. You can tell what somebody's goals are and their motives by what they do. I don't do anything to try to see you. I don't do anything to try to be in a relationship with you. What I've done, sir, is catch your crime like never before in your life. Now, what does that tell you my objectives are? And I'm meeting my objectives, by the way. I'm meeting them. In spite of your many attempts to try to make me fail, and the meetings you have with a whole bunch of dudes who sit around and try to make one woman fail, no one has caught your crime like me. I have help. Those guys said, don't invade our privacy. By the way, we have real love lives with real women, and you don't. There's no way we would let a woman go without food. The only reason they're doing that I'm going without food, is for the job. I agree to that. But they don't like it. They make you pay every time you make me go without food. I don't come home on a Saturday night with $30 without you paying for it. Okay? It'll cost you everything you have. You want to sit and harass me all day, it will cost you everything you have. Okay? It'll cost you your whole future. You're about to go to jail. We're not going to get all this stuff and just do nothing with it. Delusional. I don't know what bullshit story you tell yourself. We're not doing all this work, Mr. Perry, to just do nothing. Get a grip on reality. You look like a buffoon. Like this guy. Look at what a buffoon this guy looks like. Who's harassing who? Screaming, leave me alone, is not a fit of anger, and it's not harassment, is it? He's going where she is, you've come where I am. And nobody invited you here, Mr. Perry. And nobody asked you what you think, Connie. I don't give a fuck what you think. You don't even make sense. Do you see me going down to the local nut house and asking those people what they think? You should be there. You're that crazy. You're that crazy. You're that demented. You're that depraved. He said, don't invade her privacy. Don't contact her or her family in any form. And she's not to be broke. Get your hands out of her wallet. They have a forensic accountant keeping track of every penny you take. Okay, they can seek it in restitution. They don't have any problem with that.
I don't want proof of this. Please leave me alone.
Hey, men, leave women the fuck alone. When they're in public, when they're doing anything, you don't have the right to their attention. You don't have the right to step into their personal space. You don't have the right to them, especially if they're making it very clear they don't want to be talked to. But even when they're not, unless a woman is giving you enthusiastic and continuous body language and signs that she wants to talk to your ugly dumb ass, then leave her the fuck alone. Find a date a different way. Okay? It's not clever. It's not cool. It's not cute. It's garbage. It's absolute garbage behavior. And you're a garbage person if you do it. I don't care if it's in public. It doesn't fucking matter. You don't have the right to her. And you need to leave her alone. And this is bacon.
When you contact me, they make you pay with intel. You're paying in ways you've never had to pay before. You cause a problem for me, they'll cause 20 for you. Your guy said when Charles pesters Cynthia and takes her money, things blow up on us. They don't go well. We're seeing things happen we've never seen before. Right now, we don't know who these people are helping her, but I feel like they have a lot of power, and they're just flicking at us right now. And when they stand up and crush him, I'm not going to be anywhere near him. I'm not going to be anywhere near him. I will never help you. And the more you ask for my help, the more we get, because it really enrages people. And for you to not get that by now speaks to your mental problems. Because you should get that by now. It's 10 years of this. We got Lucius, Calvin, Geppetto. Calvin is bald and fat and everybody hates him. He's mean. A man's kindness, Calvin, brings blessings, good things, and his cruelty will be his downfall. It will be your ruin, sir. So you be mean all you want. You're digging your own hole. You and Charles and Dave, Joe, you're digging your own hole. And Lucius. And here's your shovel, dig away. How many times have we said that? Here's your shovel, dig away. And you dig and you dig and you throw that dirt up and you throw that dirt. Pretty soon my guy is going to bury you in all that. You insisted. That's what you wanted. That was your choice. You can live with your choices, right? You will never get a date with me. I'm not in love with you, Charles. I rejected you. I don't like you. And I left. And you girled up. You went weirdo. And you started doing things that are illegal. And you knew that. Was he committing a crime? Somebody the other night was talking about your political bullshit. 2 times it's been discussed. We've looked at Mr. Perry's political career. He didn't have one. He's insignificant. He's never a deciding vote or anything like that. He's not doing anything, that makes a difference. He's not productive. When Cynthia first started accusing him of stalking her, he just got elected. He's the new guy. He hadn't been in office long enough to do anything. Then she left. And he went to Oklahoma and has spent now the past decade not working, but up in Oklahoma harassing her. So there's no political career to speak to or to attack. He's not making a difference. He's not making an impact. So there is no political career to attack. He's insignificant. He doesn't matter. She's not wrong. He doesn't matter. And secondly, he alleged there was a special interest group after him. But there's zero evidence to support that. There's also zero evidence to support that there's any kind of romance there. That is stalking. All stalkers are just like that guy, and they're delusional whack jobs. And they have an affair in their head, and it's all in their head. It's not real to the victim at all. It's only real to the stalker. They're all delusionals. They all got some imagination that's out of control. You know what? You're one of those guys, Charles, that fits the biology theory of criminology, low IQ and no impulse control. That's you. You prove it 24/7. It's embarrassing. I don't know why you're not embarrassed. Please be embarrassed. Everybody else is. There's a reason everybody else doesn't act like you. Your conduct is disgusting and offensive and upsetting to everybody else. We're getting the help. You're getting told on. It's been that way 10 years. It's not hard. It's not rocket science here. And if you can't tell how much trouble you're in at this point, your disease is, you're supporting the diagnosis you got. In what you do all day long with your time. Prove to the judges that you're not doing exactly what we say all damn day. I think we told Carl Tepper and Robin Tepper in 2014, I'm not going to tell you why. Just sit and watch Charles on his phone and his computer. Just sit and watch him. I wanted them to catch you. I didn't want to tell him. He's watching me in the privacy of my home on that phone. He's hacked my phone. He's cloned it. It's on his phone. So I want you to catch him. I didn't say that. All I said is, watch everything he does on his phone. Watch everything he does on his computer. Knowing, eventually they'll catch you. Right? Okay. So, did they catch you and you threatened them? Or we heard Jackie caught you. And she said, I don't think Ms. Ortiz would appreciate you watching in her house. And you said, a judge gave me the order to do that. And she told a friend, and her friend said, that is bullshit. No judge is going to give a private citizen an order to watch a woman in the privacy of her home against her will. Did you lie to your wife, Jackie? Is that true? Is that good intel or bad intel? We control the flow of information, and the more you contact me, the more we get. The more you invade my privacy, they invade yours. You're not wanted. You're a pathetic reject. You're too stupid to just move on like everyone gets rejected. We all just move on. Next. So why is it that you're a failure and you can't? What kind of man humiliates himself like this to no avail, to his own detriment, for this long and for this amount of money? That is not a man. And I'm not going to tell you what else he said, but you know, he called it like he saw it. He goes, what, is he going to sue me? Because I'm not going to go pat him on the back for being a little girl about this. People that I do business with don't act like that. They don't act like that. They're professional businessmen. This one, to his own detriment, for a huge amount of money, and for 10 years, has done not a damn thing but embarrass himself and his associates and his family. Even though it gets him caught, he still does it. I don't have any words for that. Who said that, Mr. Perry? So he said, I'm not seeing any sign here of either any kind of special interest attack or reason for them to attack him. He's not getting anything done. He's not even relevant. He's not productive. He's not making an impact. He's always in Oklahoma harassing her. And I'm not seeing any so he perjured himself. He perjured himself. He has no evidence to support his claims at all. None. There's no motive. None. He's not making any kind of impact or difference. Anybody could do what he's done. He's in Oklahoma. He's not doing his job. He's not productive. He's not making a difference. So there's nothing to attack. So I need to know, can her people prove in a court of law that the crimes he's committing are and the claims he made in court that were bullshit, was that due to his delusion? Perhaps maybe his disease? Did he imagine it? And what the guy said was, I think they can because he's not just doing this by himself. He's doing it with Mr. Powell. He did the perjury with Mr. Powell's help. He did it with David Roberson's help. Do they have Huntington's disease or Alzheimer's? To the best of our knowledge, they don't have a mental illness, which means it was an intentional lie. It was a lie, and he knew it was a lie, and he perpetrated the fraud upon a court. So that is perjury, and he did it knowingly, and he did it willingly, and he did it to hurt her. He did it to cause an injury on purpose, and that's what her shrink said. So what I believe is that they can prove intent and criminal intent, and he'll have to be held accountable for that at some point. Because what I'm seeing is a man who is whack job, who says some wacky jacky things, but that wasn't one of them. Unless Mr. Powell is also mentally ill, and Mr. Roberson is also mentally ill. And they imagined it. Because this was a conspiracy to commit. It wasn't just one individual committing the crime. There were more than two, which makes it conspiracy to commit a crime, or fraud upon a court and perjury. And they've done it more than once. All of them have. So there's that. Who was that, Mr. Perry, talking about you? How embarrassing for you. Why aren't you embarrassed? Everyone else is. I asked our shrink, why is he not embarrassed? Embarrasses the fuck out of me. I wouldn't be seen with that guy for millions. I wouldn't be seen with him. He's embarrassing to me. He's a weirdo. Doesn't get any more weirdo than Charles Perry. It's embarrassing to me. And she said, I told you, he's mentally retarded and does not know he should be. I don't know his diagnosis right now, but he's not just mentally ill, he's also mentally impaired. And she wasn't wrong when we found out it was Huntington's disease. The mental illness is the psychosis, the hallucinations, you see things that aren't there. The delusion, you see things that aren't there. You're not in reality. You live in cuckoo bird land. And, so you got hallucinations, delusions, psychosis, paranoia, and impaired cognitive reasoning. That's the mental retardation. She was not wrong. She never is. She evaluates everybody involved and any stressors they may have going on in their life on any given day. And then when the guys go to her and say, we want to run this, we want to do this, we want to do that, and here's what we think they'll do, and that will get us this. They're going to react, or she's going to say this, they'll react like this, and then we'll have that. That's what that will do for us. Is this a good day to run it? And she can look at it and say, well, this one would react like ABC, but today they've got the stressor of this, so they're not going to react like they would normally react. They're going to react differently. So maybe change this. Advises them on everything we do. Okay? You're a menace, Mr. Perry. Just a menace. You're never asked what you think. You're never asked how you feel or what you want. And you never shut up. I'll never help you. And there's not a day that goes by that Mr. Perry does not ask me about leaks. And it pisses me the fuck off. And then when you piss me off, it pisses the guys off. And they make you pay with intel. Either you got a leak or an infiltrator or an informant or a wiretap order. Either way, you piss all those people off. And the next thing we know, we're quoting everything you said. Never happened before, but it has every day for 10 years. Never been caught this much in your life. So the acts that you commit against me are getting us what we want. You're not getting information, we are. And you've been doing that for years, and we're scratching our head going, why would anybody do the same thing every day that gets us information and they get told on? The stuff they wanted covered up is everywhere. What kind of whack job does that? The same thing. What kind of man humiliates himself that way and his associates and his organization and his family to no avail and to his own detriment for that amount of money for this long? True whack job. Cannot understand what's happening. Can't do it. So you support by your actions the diagnosis that you have. And it is not Tourette's. It is not at all. What you're doing is rape. You're not wanted, you're not loved, you're raping me, and you're paying with intel. All of you are paying in ways you've never had to pay before. We got Lucius, we got Calvin, we got Geppetto, your witch, Sanjay, your hacker, Blankenship, Desiree, Andrew, Lawrence, James, Rubin, Richard, Dickey, Beverly, Renee, Betancourt. Right? Aren't those the people that your accomplices? Greg, Tim, Larry, Oscar, Bruce. Muffin Man. Is Governor who? You tell us. You tell the court. Who's Muffin Man? Every time you contact me, we get more information like that. Are those people happy? You take something from me, Lucius. We got your name, Lucius and Geppetto. We got your name when you guys started talking about getting me kicked out of Sky Motel. We heard you say, Lucius, I want her kicked out of that hotel. There's no contract. And then you were told after it happened, and I lost everything I had because you wanted to traffic me. Right? You were retaliating because we caught y'all on the murder of a police officer. Has anybody else done that? Any other victim have that kind of information? Huh? He goes, what she said is they want to get you guys on interference with contracts and commerce, dum-dum. That means, what that means is buying and selling of anything at all. She wants to buy a toothbrush and you butt into that, you stupid little criminal fuck. They will make you pay. They can charge you. Get the hell out of her wallet. Or don't complain and run around going, how'd she find out? You asked for it. There's your shovel, Lucius. Dig away. Did you kill Chief Miller? I've never met you, sir. But I'll tell you one thing. It speaks to the low intellect and the no impulse control that criminals have. Criminology, we studied it. The biology theory. Low IQ and low impulse control. That's you. When you do the crime to me, you get caught and you do it anyway. There's your shovel. Dig away. I mean, the guy said, she said, it ought to make you shit yourselves that I have your names because the best of my knowledge, I've not met you people. It's coming up on police recordings. And so if it doesn't make you shit yourselves, you're not all there. You're as dumb as a brick. And he goes, I can't disagree. I can't. Some of those people on that list have helped us in some way. They're fine. But I'm not going to tell you who those people are. You'll murder them. Right? Don't you like killing cops and killing people and just, bully, organized crime, mafia? Are you the local mafia, Lucius? Yeah, you got a weak link. Or two.
Leave me alone.
One of them is not, one of them is Charles Perry. Don't you know how to tell when you have a weak link, Lucius? I lived in Vegas. You guys are the dumbest mafia I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, no. Please.
Just talk to me for 2 minutes.
First, let me say that I'm happy that the lady in this video is okay. Second, let me break down
all damn day. And it's going to cost you everything you have to sit around and act like that, Mr. Perry. You gotta hear the shit he does on my phone. It is as wacky as it gets.
what rape culture is. Rape culture is the fact that that man felt that he was entitled to some of this woman's time just because he said, let me talk to you for 2 minutes. Doesn't matter if it's 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 minutes. If she said no, no means no. Rape culture is the comments that she has on her video about how she should have just spoke to him or dressed differently. Rape culture is me taking the heat for calling out other men for their terrible behavior. Rape culture is trying to explain stuff as, oh, it's just locker room talk. No, it's not locker room talk. You should talk the same way wherever you are. We all know that rape is not about sex, it's about power. So for you to force yourself on somebody, even if you're just talking to them, is disgusting, dude.
That guy's been raping you since
Leave
you were
me
12 years
alone.
old?
Please.
Just talk to me for 2 minutes.
First, let me say that I'm happy that the lady in this video is okay. Second, let me break down what rape culture is. Rape culture is the fact that that man felt that he was entitled to some of this woman's time just because he said, let me talk to you for 2 minutes. Doesn't matter if it's 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 minutes. If she said no, no means no. Rape culture is the comments that she has on her video about how she should have just spoke to him or dressed differently. Rape culture is me taking the heat for calling out other men for their terrible behavior. Rape culture is trying to explain stuff as, oh, it's just locker room talk. No, it's not locker room talk. You should talk the same way wherever you are. We all know that rape is not about sex, it's about power. So for you to force yourself on somebody, even if you're just talking to them.
It's about perceived power. Watch what happens if you come where I am. Your balls will be in your brain faster than you can say hi. Mr. Perry typed in my phone all day yesterday that he won. Tell the courts what you won. Okay?
Is disgusting, dude.
That guy's been raping you since you
Leave
were
me
12 years
alone.
old?
Please.
See, what normal guys win is an actual date and actual consensual sex. And you can't get there. 10 years, you're just a rejected pathetic. Right? That's not power. Power, by the way, is in service, Mr. Perry. So go serve your constituents.
Just talk to me for 2 minutes.
First, let me say that I'm happy that the lady in this video is okay. Second, let me break down what rape culture is. Rape culture is the fact that that man felt that he was entitled to some of this woman's time just because he said, let me talk to you for 2 minutes. Doesn't matter if it's 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 minutes. If she said no, no means no. Rape culture is the comments that she has on her video about how she should have just spoke to him or dressed differently. Rape culture is me taking the heat for calling out other men for their terrible behavior. Rape culture is trying to explain stuff as, oh, it's just locker room talk. No, it's not locker room talk. You should talk the same way wherever you are. We all know that rape is not about sex, it's about power. So for you to force yourself on somebody, even if you're just talking to them, is disgusting, dude.
That guy's been raping you since you
Leave
were
me
12 years old?
alone.
Alright, so what we caught in the strip clubs is trafficking victims being worked through there. It's not unusual. And money laundering, also not unusual. So why is Joe Chadwick involved in that? Joe owns Lady Godiva's. Does he have it going on in his club? It's going on at Sensations. We caught them laundering the money through stage. They changed it. Now it's going through the VIP tips. Somebody buys a VIP and pays for the prostitution in a tip. It's laundered. Right, Mr. Perry? I point that out to someone who used to work for Joe, and all of a sudden they switched things up. They gave me a reaction that confirmed the information was dead on the money. And every day, Mr. Perry and David Roberson whine and nag, take her car. She can't live here. She could live at a homeless shelter and walk 10 blocks to the courthouse, David. Then you prove that my intel is good intel and I'm right on the money. Or you wouldn't give a fuck, would you? Because you have choices. You can be dismissive and not dignify me with a response. Or show me I'm right by retaliating. You want to take my car. Yeah. And Mr. Perry can't figure out why he can't get a date. And my friend's like, yeah, she's used to a higher caliber of person and a higher standard of living, and you're just not good enough because you make her sleep in her car. So what she's decided is that's better than you. Sleeping in her car is better than you because you would do something like that to her. Because what Saeed did is he created a job for her and made sure she made money and supported her goals. And got her an Infinity. He didn't take her car away, dum-dum. He gave her an Infinity. Those cars at the time were 40 grand. It was like a fucking Mercedes. I liked the Infinity actually better than the Mercedes. Not only that, but I told him, our friend so-and-so has an Infinity J30. I want that. And he goes, get the Q. It's a lot more expensive and it's a lot better car. That's what we're going to get you. So that's what I drove. I was 23 years old. I owned my own business. I lived in a 3-bed, brand new, first person in it, in Summerlin, which at the time was the new hot place in Vegas to live. 3-bedroom apartment. I think it was about 1,300 square feet. Brand spanking new in Summerlin by myself. I didn't have roommates to help pay the bills. I didn't need that. So that's the kind of life that I'm used to, Mr. Perry. Not your little canned food. Not your little subjugation. Not your little, we're going to whip the little woman in, carrot and the stick. Calvin, your carrot and the stick bullshit is unbelievable. You're the stick, my guys are the carrots. We're getting the help you're getting told on. Can you not read results? Can you not read them? We can. We read our results and yours. We're constantly analyzing. Here's our objectives. Are we meeting them? And if not, we need to make an adjustment. Not doofus land over there. We're getting caught every day, every time Mr. Perry tries to talk to her, every time he peeps and creeps, every time he causes a problem, every time he takes something. We got Lucius and Geppetto out of the thing with Sky Motel. Lucius, I got your name. If you weren't stupid, that would make you shit yourself. I have your name. To the best of my knowledge, I've never met you. Or Geppetto. Or Calvin. So, what planet are you on, sir? You guys are the dumbest mafia I've ever met. I lived in Vegas. You're the dumbest fucking mafia I've ever met. This has been so easy, it's not even fair. Because there's certain... Perry was told... Here's the thing. Here's the funniest thing. I mean, Perry was told when I lived in Sapulpa, so this must have been after my son graduated from high school. Okay, so let me back up. When we first moved here, we lived in Manford with my relatives. Or Sand Springs. I'm sorry, not Manford, Sand Springs. And with my cousin Craig. And then my son wanted to be in ROTC, which they don't have in Sand Springs or Manford, but they do in Sapulpa. So, and it was good for him. It taught him discipline. So we moved to Sapulpa so that he could be in ROTC. And that's where we lived until he graduated high school. Once he graduated high school, I left Sapulpa. So Calvin, your efforts to get me back to Sapulpa are bizarre. I have no reason to go there. I didn't like living there. Because you guys were there. You people were there. You made it a living hell. So I'm not going to go back there. It's funny that we hear you talking about that. If we can get her to Sapulpa, and people tell you that. Dum-dum, why would she go there? She hadn't been back since Dennis graduated high school and left. So why the fuck would she go to Sapulpa? And why do you want her there? What's your ulterior motive? You tell us, Calvin, what is it? You tell us. Okay, so some of the stuff y'all say is just off the nut bizarre. No normal person could think of the shit you do if they had to. Gun to their head, a normal person, our brains don't go there. I think that sometimes somebody asked me, how do you suppose people like that get away with stuff for so long and people don't know what they're doing, don't realize what they're doing, how bad it is? And I said, because normal people's minds don't even go there. They can't even imagine it. The horror that these men do. Can't imagine it. So it's hard to catch the flags because your mind doesn't even go there where theirs is. With a gun to your head, you couldn't think that shit up. No normal person could. And that's all they think about is this weird, demented, depraved, disgusting shit that normal people don't think of. And so, unfortunately, like the BTK got away with his crime for 30 years. And here he is, a church deacon, and he's married. Most serial killers are not married. So, and they can't keep a job. It depends, I think, on whether you're looking at an organized killer or a disorganized killer. The disorganized killers are more likely not to have any stability in their life. I think the organized killers are more likely to have stability in their lives, like a marriage and a job. They're not quite as disconnected as the disorganized killer. But, either way, for 30 years, that man got away with some heinous, sick crime. The guy tortured and killed people, and nobody realized it was him. Because I think that normal people's minds just don't go there. They don't look for stuff that's a flag. So when the flags pop up, they miss it because their minds are just normal, and they don't think in a way that a demented, depraved individual would think, who can commit the heinous crimes that these guys commit. Beating a chief of police, his head back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, like he was in a car crash, until his head comes off his body and he dies in the line of duty, not a drunken brawl with his buddy, is a heinous, depraved criminal act. But, Lucius and Dave, you pulled him into a corner, and you threw Mike on top of him, face down, covering Chief Miller's face, which means to us that you felt enough shame that you did not want to look at them as you walked out of that room, thinking Chief Miller's dead and Mike was too, or dying. You thought Mike was going to die because you gave him so many opioids that he was dying. And when he was found unresponsive, in respiratory distress, and unconscious, which means he could not have beat Chief Miller to death in that state. When you're sleeping, you can't beat someone up. He couldn't even move. And when he was found, he was not treated for a concussion or for being knocked out in a fight. He was treated for drug overdose. We said it in March. We said it to the Florida State's attorney in January, and again in February, and again in March. And you obstructed justice because you're guilty. Because if Mike really did that crime, you would not have cared about my testimony for him in his trial. And a reporter said that. Remember, we have 12 reporters helping us. 3 are not in the U.S. Had they let her testify and the jury still found him guilty, we would not believe you. But they didn't do that. They intentionally impeded and concealed Cynthia's testimony, so they did do it. To me, that looks guilty, and she's broke. So they're retaliating against her. Otherwise, what do they care how much money she has? What do they care what she says? If she's crazy, what do they care? And another reporter, a female, said, had they done what she said in March 2020, get the club full of paying customers, and it was said in response to Mr. Perry's threats and bribes. It's always a threat and bribe every day with this guy. I'm going to do a false arrest. I'm going to murder you. I'm going to kidnap you. Or some sort of enticement. I'll get you a car. I'll give you a shopping spree. Listen, you owe me money. Whether I get it in court, either criminal or civil court, or before that, where we don't all have to go to court, and maybe the guys can go say he's already made this right, so show him some leniency in sentencing. Then, they don't have to say anything. There's no guarantee. But they won't say anything helpful. I mean, you'll get the same mercy you showed us, sir. That's what I've asked for. Give them the same mercy they've showed the victims. Same exact. When you go to criminal trial and you go to ask for sentencing, ask for the same mercy that he has shown me, and the girls at the compound, and the trafficking victims at the strip clubs in Oklahoma. Exact same, and the same mercy they showed Mike and Lucky. Same exact sentencing, mercy. So I'm sorry, but I'm about to be able to go on a shopping spree with my own money. I'm not going to take your bribe. I don't need your bribe. Not going to take it. My answer to you has been for 10 years, fuck off, and nothing's changed. And I'm not open to a conversation. You get anywhere near me, I'll kick the fuck out of you. And I'm not open to reconsideration. That's it. When you continue to pressure me or to offer threats and bribes, then you're making your own situation a lot worse. We get a lot of intel out of that because it pisses people off that you have the nerve to do that. You don't have the right to do that. You don't have the right to invade my privacy. I have the right to my privacy. You don't have the right to invade it. I have the right to make money. You don't have the right to get in my way. You don't have the right to deprive me of food and shelter. They had a thing on the news the other night about a woman who lost custody of her children for deprivation of food and shelter. They put people in jail for doing the same thing to a dog. What makes you think it's okay to do it to me? Societal rules have said we do not tolerate that in a civilized society. You go to jail. So in response to the threats and the bribes, the guy says, no, at no time did Cindy ever have to lie. And how dare you ask her? You get the club full of paying customers because you ran everybody off. You make that right with that man, the guy that owns it. Not weirdos, not canned food, paying customers who are gentlemen. Because you ran the good ones off. She's not to be broke anymore. If you took her money, you pay it back. You get Fabian and Tristan up to Oklahoma so they can talk, and you put the hell out of that because it doesn't concern you. And get Mike Neely home to his family. And this was before his trial. And I'm emailing them, and they knew. They knew that. They hacked me. They know every email that goes out. Sometimes they divert them. Sometimes when I get an email, they intercept it so I don't see it. Same thing with my mail. Maybe that's why I didn't get the weird letter everybody's talking about. When you do that stuff, you look guilty. She said, had they done what she said in March 2020 and left her alone and got Michael Neely home, even if they killed Lucky, it would look like they didn't. It would be hard to believe that they did it. Because, Lucky just did a big meth bust. You could have blamed somebody involved in that. But what happened is they didn't do that. They could have said, we back the blue. We're against wrongful convictions. It's clear this guy didn't do this. Let's get him home. And that's not what they did. And so, they look guilty. Otherwise, they could have said, she's wrong, if not a little bit crazy. Had she continued to assert that they killed Chief Miller, because there would be no sign of retaliation against her. So she's probably wrong. And they got him home. They wouldn't get him home if they did that murder. But that's not what they did. They did everything guilty people do. They retaliated against her, and there's fraud in his case. Clear, obvious fraud. Because there's no way a man who's drugged and dying of opioid overdose, treated with Narcan, not for concussion or a head injury or being knocked out in a fight, could kill someone and have not a mark on him. We'll show you what he looks like. It's insane. Point out for me the marks on this man that look like he was in a fight, that indicate he was in a fight, and the detective who was interviewing him, that they showed all over the news, when Michael Neely, who is a detective himself and had 6 days before taken my car vandalism complaint, which if you watch the video connecting the dots that was produced by the National Stalking Resource Center, says stalkers go at the car. They vandalize the car. So if you get a car vandalism complaint, the first thing you need to do is ask the victim, do you have someone who's stalking you that would do something like this? Like Jodi Arias did to Travis Alexander, and the next escalation was murder in the first degree. They did it to my car. The next escalation was murder in the first degree of the police officer who took my report, and the murder of his boss 6 days later. You coaxed him to Florida because you premeditated that murder, Lucius, David. We understand, okay, there are 5 people involved. There's Charles Perry, Matthew Powell, Joshua Burson, who's a Texas Ranger, Joe Chadwick, and David Roberson. Those are the 5 people I sued. They didn't let me in court. They're running around saying she can't prove her case. They had 3 chances to make me prove my case. The burden of proof is on me. I sued them. Instead, they had a backroom meeting with the judge, and the whole thing's gone. 3 times. They went duck hunting with Judge Cummings. No reason given for his dismissal. Judge Egan did not have res judicata. I don't care what she says. The 10th Circuit never saw my appeal. We understand the 3 judges that signed it never saw it. It was law clerks that did it. Is that true or not? Is that intel good or not, Mr. Perry? We quote judges, by the way. Don't forget that. There was no res judicata. Nobody had sued Mr. Perry before on a breach of contract. You said you'd leave me alone. You lied. You lied on purpose because everybody in jail said that you told everybody in Lubbock. I guess you told Mr. Powell, who told the defense attorney. The defense attorney told his client, and then it got all around the jail. We're going to send her home, harass the hell out of her, and when she says anything about it, we'll say she's harassing us. We're going to lie again. Right? Is Neil harassing that girl, Lori Bory, or is she harassing him when she screams, leave me alone? He's going where she is. Mr. Perry's in Oklahoma. I moved 2 times to get away from that bitch. Twice. Moved, completely started my life all over again. She's sleeping in her car because that's a better deal than being with a whack job that would make her sleep in her car. And she's not going to put up with the shit he's doing. She's not going to do it. I watched her fight as a professional businesswoman for her patients and her kids. We watched her grow up right here in Vegas. And so if she's dancing and door dashing, what did he do to her? My family didn't even ask that question. My cousin, we were told, Mr. Perry told him early on, behind my back they're talking, which upset me. Wouldn't it upset you? The thing that she's doing with her medical supplies, selling allergy testing kits and stuff, we shut that down. We can't have her running off with the doctor. We need her working in a strip club right now. We're grooming her for being trafficked. Did you tell my cousin? You didn't tell him you were grooming me for being trafficked, but you did tell him you shut my medical business down. We can't have her running off with a doctor who might be smarter than you. And you only have to say things one time. Okay. Anyways, so it's okay because we're catching a whole lot more crime in the strip club than I would have had I been working in medical. Catching your crime. Human trafficking in strip clubs in the Houston compound. Yeah. Organized crime. Racketeering. Money laundering. I'm happy to do it. I'm Chief Hall's granddaughter. I'm happy to do it. Okay, so this man is showing the detective, I don't believe you because I'm not injured like I would be had I beat someone to death and been in a drunken brawl, as you say. And the detective did not point out, if I'm a detective and I'm interviewing somebody who's a suspect in a murder, and the murder is the manner of death and the manner of the murder is beating. I'm going to point out on him that, look, well, you got bruises here, so it appears you beat Chief Miller to death. That's not what the detective said. The detective said it appears he was beat to death. So who did it? Lucius? David Roberson, who had motive. You got to have motive, means, and opportunity. There was no motive given in Mr. Neely's trial. This man is a police officer who took a car vandalism complaint from me 6 days before. You blew up his life. And what other cops are after your ass because you attacked cops, Lucius? You tell us. Don't you have power, Charles? Power to poke and peep. That's about it. Look at this. Nothing. The arrest report itself contains no detailed injuries other than a red swollen right hand. Well, there's an IV in it. Maybe that's why it's red and swollen, Detective Dum Dum. I mean, come on. So, I couldn't say that to the jury, which I would have, because you knew Mr. Neely would be found innocent. And you didn't want that. You have a motive to have committed fraud upon a court. Suborned perjury. Right. This thing where the neighbors heard him say, "Stop it, Mike, stop it, Mike." He was saying, "Stop it" to the offender and calling out to Mike for help. There's no visual context to put with the utterance. They didn't see it, they heard it. So they didn't have the complete picture. And this thing where he said, "I'm going to fire you when we get home," didn't happen, and we know that. Because what people tell the first time they tell the story is the truth. When some time has gone by and you've been able to get to them and tamper with the witnesses, and all of a sudden things change, you're fucked, David. Believe me. You tamper with me, why would you not tamper with the witnesses in his case? You threaten me. You cause problems for me. You do everybody. But there has come a day when people have had enough of it and they're sick of it and they want you stopped. So my guys are getting the help and you're getting told on. You're getting ratted out. Everybody's sick of this. What the voters of Tulsa, Mr. Roberson, chose was to elect the members of the people sitting on the city council today and G.T. Bynum as our mayor. Those people chose Chief Franklin to run Tulsa Police Department. What that means is they want Chief Franklin to run Tulsa Police Department and for you to fuck off. Do you understand? Same thing goes with Governor Stint. Why are you butting into that? Why are you, Mr. Perry, butting into that? Yeah. So when we get information, perhaps it's because the people of Oklahoma have had enough of it. It's corruption. People don't like corruption. You know what they like? To be left the fuck alone. Okay? They don't like suffering of humans. Watch the news. Whenever we had the shooting at St. Francis Hospital, Mayor Bynum stepped up to the microphone and said that his office was getting a lot of calls from people wanting to know what can we do to help the victims that would relieve their suffering. And gosh, we hope they caught the bad guy. By the way, Tulsa Police, I defended. I'm happy to say this is what I think Tulsa Police does good, and here's what I think they do wrong. I come from 4 generations of police. I'm working with police now who told me he was drugged beforehand. So, I can say what I think. You get the right to redress, you get the right to an opinion, and I say what I think. Here's what they're good at, here's what they suck at. And I said I thought they did a great job at the shooting. And I got scolded. No. Oh, fuck no, don't give them credit for that. Because guess what? Broken Arrow was there, OHP was there, Tribals were there, FBI was there, a bunch of cops were there. It wasn't Tulsa Police that stopped that guy. Not just Tulsa Police. There was a bunch of cops there that day from a lot of different agencies. So don't give them credit for that. Not even that. They need to revamp their shit. Because we're all dissatisfied. We're all dissatisfied. You know what? I did notice that we see a lot of human trafficking arrests coming out of Oklahoma City, nothing in Tulsa. Why is that? You think we don't have it in Tulsa? Of course we have it in Tulsa. I just told you where to look. I just told you what they're doing. I just told you who the offenders are. So there's that. I just told you. And I'm doing it. We've done your job. And I think I said to Jerry Bender after the hit and run accident to my car, and your police officer said, "We don't take evidence at Tulsa Police." Wow. That's not policing then, is it? And I looked at this woman and I pushed my papers under the glass when she said, we don't do that here. And I said, today it is how you do that here. And then I walked out. I couldn't believe the words came out of her mouth. That officer should be fired. Or is that your culture? You tell us. We're entitled to police protection because we're paying for it. You're not entitled to impose corruption and crime on the citizens. You're not. You don't get to do that. And if Mr. Perry and Mr. Roberson and Mr. Betancourt and Lucius would threaten a cop like this and harm a cop like this, then my guys can do their thing and put a stop to it, can't they? They are. We're not doing all this for nothing, Mr. Perry. Despite your delusion, pretend life, bullshit that you sit in all day. Your quagmire of weird. How embarrassing. I mean, I don't even know what to say. But if we're getting the help and you're getting told on, can you not read that? What does that mean? It means people are sick of you. And they're sick of you corrupting our cops. And they're sick of you asking cops to hurt people. Sick of it. Because police are supposed to relieve suffering caused by crime. It's the only job they're supposed to do. That's all you guys do all day, is relieve suffering caused by crime. Our guys won't call you even. We're not meter maids. And until they stop being meter maids, we're catching really bad criminals doing really bad things. And if they don't want to help with that, they'd rather be meter maids, we don't call them. That's not how we do business. Because there's a job to do here, and it is to relieve suffering caused by crime. And this crime is bad. They killed a cop. They killed your brother. This one's down, in need of an assist, and you have left him behind, and we have not. And they're retaliating against me. I'm not a cop, but I'm something. Surely you know that by now, watching what I do. Right? I'm not committing, I caught this. Wait a minute, something's wrong. Actually, I didn't. Somebody in Manford said, your Texas Mafia got them both. The first day after we found out what happened. It happened, I think, on a Sunday. So maybe it was Monday morning. The Texas Mafia, after you got them both. So Manford already knew that that was probably more likely what happened than what that bullshit they have told in court to get a wrongful conviction of a policeman. I come from 4 generations of cops. It's cop family. You don't leave one behind. You don't do it. So why, just remember when I said to Mr. Bender, I'm not going to sue you guys. I could. I'm not going to sue him. There's like 20 different reasons that I can sue. I'm going to out-cop you. Watch me. Look how much we have. I have help. I can't do that by myself. There's no way. All right, so we got this. It's pretty much an analysis of the things that we have caught over the years beforehand, like when they took my car, calling the pilot, the Flying J. We're going to let her take a shower today. When she comes up to take her shower, we're going to have her car taken. And you did the next day. So I had an I told you so there, didn't I? But who are the cops that got the information that you had called Brandon and said when she comes up to take a shower, we're going to take her car? You didn't take it from some other place. You took it from that place. Right, Calvin? Yep. You used my DoorDash app to get me to Hansel and Gretel me, right? Was I supposed to be pulled over last night? Yep. And the guy said I couldn't get to her. I was too far behind, 5-6 miles behind her, so I couldn't get there. Is that good intel or bad? How do I know that, Calvin? You're the one that calls those in. Yep. Okay. See, what he said is, you don't invade her privacy. You don't contact her or her family in any form, weirdo. And she's not to be broke. Because if she comes home on a weekend with less than $800, being that you owe her $1,000 a day for using her body against her will, illegally, for your entertainment and for profit, plus $2,000 a day for doing it without her consent, we can get that in or out of court. Doesn't matter. But we're going to get it. You can do it by yourself or we'll do it in court. No one cares. No one gives a fuck. We'll wait till you're arrested. and then we'll go to court. They can seek restitution, and when I don't get restitution, here comes the next civil suit. We're not going to do it until your arrest, because you buy too many judges. Okay? So now you want to do another traffic case and do a criminal trial on a traffic case. That's your choice. There's your shovel dig. We tried to do it the first one. Did you want to do another one? Okay, that's up to you. That's your call. If there's a court case that I'm aware of and I've been served, then we use that to build a criminal case, no question. Look at the first 3 lawsuits. Read them. There's a lot of criminal law cited. Is there not? There's a reason I did that. Okay. So, don't invade her privacy. Don't contact her, and she better not be broke. My guy said, you owe her a fuck ton of money. What she billed you for watching in her house is one separate bill. She has a right to do that. Okay, and this guy says she signaled that she does not consent and it is not free. So her intent is that she is to be paid for that because it is a vulgar rape of the worst kind. You're invading me in my own home. I'm not safe. In my own house. If he's not stalking her, how does he know where she lives and what she's driving? How would he know where she's working? Why would he care? What she's driving to go get her car and wreck it. Yeah, because she's telling the truth. He is a stalker. Why is he in Oklahoma? Why is he talking to her family and she's not? One guy said that's the most fucked up thing I've ever seen. Yeah. See, you think your people are stupid as you, and they're not. They're really not. Okay, so, yeah, here's all this. He's just basically gone through each little thing. Why is he in Oklahoma and he's talking to her family and she's not? That is the most fucked up thing I have ever seen in my life. It's right there. That is unbelievable. So separately, then there's what you've taken from my work. When you contact me, we get more, Charles. All this came from your bothering me all fucking day. Every time you contact me, we get more. I don't put it all out. I don't have time to type it all up. Doesn't mean we don't have it. Okay? You contact me, you pay with intel. The intel will be used to put you in jail. The more we get, the easier it'll be to get a conviction. And boy, you just never shut up. You never get information with your questions. We do. And yet you do the same thing every day. I mean, that's why they believe you to be severely mentally retarded. Held back by a disease. Retarded means be held back. Okay? There's that. Okay, so we got that. Yeah. What problems are solved by doing what you do all day? Yeah, you're a sick little something. What is this one? Interference with commerce. You interfere, Lucius, with me buying a toothbrush, you're going to pay. Okay? You get to go to jail. There's a reason this is the one. That is the most fucked up thing I have ever seen in my life. Mr. Perry's response to this is a fucking fail. He acts like he had no idea what I said. I spent 2 hours saying pretty much the same thing. He actually had no idea what I said. Words went right over your head. You can't be governor if you can't understand what people say. You can't run for dog catcher. You can't fulfill the duties of your job. So, and if you can't tell cause and effect, before and after, same and different, same thing. You're not mentally qualified. You're not competent to fulfill the duties of the dog catcher's job. And somebody said that. There was like an argument. The guy was like, he needs to run for governor, so he just needs her to lie. He can't even hold an event until she lies. And the guy like interrupted, and he goes, no, he's not going to be governor. And the question was, well, he goes, why? Why not? And he goes, this guy's a dum-dum. He's not smart enough. Because here's the thing. You don't starve women. We don't act like that. And she's not eating for 4 days because he's not letting her make any money. And you don't have that right. If there's a woman put in jail and sentenced to 60 years for depriving her children of food and shelter, You put a dog in a cage and don't feed him, you go to jail for animal abuse. So what in the fuck makes you think you can do that to anyone, to a person, to a woman? You're by yourself, and we get intel because you do that. And you're too stupid to get cause and effect. You do the crime to me, you get caught. This is stuff you've always done, and you hid it until you did it to me. Okay? Cause and effect. You touch a hot stove, you get burned. I'm the hot stove, stupid. You don't know that at 10 years? We control the flow of information. We do. Always have. It's never up to you. So the guy goes, first of all, she's not eating for 4 days. We don't starve women in this country. And he's gotten caught trying to kidnap her twice. You don't kidnap women in this country. And so he's caught. And if you don't know you're caught, then you're too dumb to be governor. And if you don't know that when you're caught, you stop, then you're too stupid to be governor. And if you don't know that you don't do that shit anyways, then you're really too stupid to be governor. So I'm sorry, but he's too dumb. Can't do it. And she doesn't have to lie for him. He's not entitled to a lie, and he's not entitled to crime. I don't care what lie, bullshit story he sits on his fat, lazy ass telling himself while he's perverting around. You know what? If he wants to be governor, then he needs to go to Texas, leave Cindy alone, and go be governor. Get to work. You want to be Ted Cruz, work like Ted Cruz, because I guarantee you he is not doing today what you did today all day. And just menace and harass and cause problems and piss people off and get told on. Okay? You want to be like Ted? Go work like Ted. Because you're not entitled to shit. And you get caught when you do it to me, and yet you do it anyway. You have to want to get caught. If you didn't want to get caught, you'd have stopped a long time ago. What kind of dumb humiliates himself every day, all day long, to no avail, to his own detriment? Not only does he humiliate himself and make a buffoon of himself, but his associates, his organization, and his family. For this long and for this amount of money. Wow. This is an easy takeover. These people are stupid. My guy's laughing. You have no idea. You don't want sensitive information like this getting in the wrong hands. And every time it does, it increases your value and hers and decreases theirs. And I bet you they're not factoring it in to valuations. And I'm a businessman. I would do that. And if that happens when one person is broke and bothered, that would happen one time and never again. I would make sure that person is never broke or bothered again. And our guy goes, Charles likes it. You know what he says? Do it more. They got caught. Do it anyway. Nobody will suspect a thing. Well, actually, they do. They do. And out of you taking my school money, Charles, trying to traffic me, you got traffic delivery deadlines that fit into our timeline, that fit into when I have money and when I don't. I don't come home with less than $800 a weekend. My guy said, or I'm going to metaphorically stomp on your mushy little you-know-what until you wish you didn't have one. You're a criminal, and I'm a cop, and I'm happy to do it. Because that little thing is your God, and it runs your life. And it is unbelievable that you're that weak, and you're that pathetic, and you're that stupid that you do that. When you're in jail, we're all going to come ask you, is it funny now? Is it cute now? The shit you did to ruin people and to cause major loss and major harm that you thought was cute and you thought was game, was some sort of sick game, and you sit there and go be. Now you go be. Is it cute now? Even prisoners are repulsed by bitches like you. Out of the school thing, we find out about the Houston compound. There are children. They kidnapped a bunch of girls, got them pregnant, and now they're pimping out those babies, those little tiny human babies. And one of them was screaming while he was getting raped, and his mom crying in the next room. She can't help him. And those guys told her, quit crying. He'll get used to it. You get used to being raped? I don't think so. When you contact me, Charles, we get information like that. You shut the fuck up, whack job. You are pissing me off. Every time you contact me, it pisses me off. So we get more because you piss all of us off. Me and all the people helping me. You don't get to talk to me, you sick fuck. You don't get to talk to me. You get anywhere near me, I will beat the ever-living shit out of you. You have no idea. You don't matter. We do. The victims. We're getting the help. You're getting told on. Why can't you get that? Why are you so slow you can't get that? It's 10 years of this. We control the flow of information. People hate your guts for what you've done. Hate your guts. You have no idea. Everybody's sick of you. No one invited you to Oklahoma. Nobody. And nobody asked you what you think. You go be. So the guy says, he tells the mom, quit crying, he'll get used to it. We'll get you a toy. We'll get him a toy. That's supposed to make it okay for that child, that baby, to be raped. And the guy said, that place smells like the sewer because those kids are shitting all over the floor from being sodomized. It's about time somebody get them out of there. It's you wouldn't believe, they go fuck the girls, they fuck each other, and then fuck the kids. It is horrible. It is horrific, the shit that goes on in that place. Let those girls come and go as they please, Mr. Perry. Or shut up about them being be there and consensual. Give them money. Give them some money to go live their life however they want, and you leave them alone. Otherwise, they're hostages. Because I've seen what you've done to me to try to make me go there too. We're going to take her car, then she'll go. We're going to put her in jail and sit her down and say, you can go in jail and we'll do to you what we did to Mike Neely, or you can go be a hostage and raped every day like those people and starved. That's your choice. You guys said we got to make sure she doesn't testify and that there's no trial. And the guy said she has the right to a trial, so good luck on that. And if she testifies, you're fucked. And she can. But you had the conversation, and my guys have that, Charles, where you actually said, we have to make sure there is no trial. We can't have this stuff coming out. We can't have it coming out. You actually tried to deprive me of my right to a trial before you even did the second false arrest. Lucius, Calvin, Geppetto, Blankenship, Desiree, Beverly, Renee, Charles, when you asked me about a leak, we get more. You just typed in my other phone, it's at Beverly. Wow. In all the years you've asked me that day after day, all day long, menacing, harassing, have you ever gotten an answer? No, we do. You stupid little fuck. You're unbelievable. I will never help you. I'll never help you. You don't want help. Because the guy said, if you give back what you took and you fix what you broke and you get the hell out of her life by yourself like a big boy, we'll call you and we'll see if we can help you. Otherwise, you don't want help. But Charles, I will never help you. Ever. I never have, never will. It's 10 years of this, dum-dum. Look at your results, look at ours. You contact me, we get information, not you. It's 10 years. We get information, you get told on. You're the ones running around asking about leaks. We don't ask those questions. We don't have them. We don't have leaks. Our people are very motivated to put a stop to. You're a big catch for law enforcement. A lot of people would like to be able to brag. We caught those guys. Okay? I have a family legacy. Who gave me this puzzle? Who got me that puzzle? In jail. You think they can't get to Mike and you're on? I promise you they can. They can do a lot of things you don't know. We got all this. Every time you contact me, we get more. Every day you invade my privacy, you take my privacy. I have the right to it. You don't have the right to invade it. You don't have the right to use my body for profit or entertainment or anything. We got more. And y'all run around. How'd you find out about that? Charles contacted me. You invaded my privacy, caused a problem or a loss for me. And you made me broke. And so the guys helping me fucked you up. That's what they're happy to do it. Right? Who's Monique Charles? Where's she today? Yep. It's different when you do it to me. Any other victim have all this? Any other victim know they're trafficked before they get delivered? You got your code words. Papa John's means to be delivered. Pin the tail on the donkey is a second false arrest. Little Red Riding Hood is use the family to coerce cooperation in being trafficked. Hansel and Gretel is bait him to a place where you can do something horrible to him. like you did to Mike? How'd you know Mike had to be begged to go to Pensacola? Mr. Perry asked me from a spoofed Facebook account. I'm going to take her car. I'll have it towed and sold before she figures out it's not even legal. You said that in August 2019. False arrest and kill. Either false arrest or killer or kidnapper. Yep. Look at all that. We got tired of him harassing us about pulling her over. Who was that? Was that Chief Miller or was that Mike? I said it was Chief Miller. That conversation came up too. Chief, I guess somebody said, we think it's Mike and she's protecting Mike. Chief Miller's not around to ask if he said it or not. Chief Miller had a reputation of pulling people over and not calling it in until it was all done. Okay, so really it's not your business who told us, but I've said it was Chief Miller from day one. Chief Miller had a history of not telling everybody every little thing they thought they should know. This is a McNamara email. It's the first you know of, not the first we got. It says I'm going to false arrest her and coerce her. Racketeering, fraud, RICO Act violations. You need to leave her alone so I can rule out entrapment and provocation. All you do is provoke all day. You're a menace. They got that to me in jail. Fabian was the man that I wanted to date, and you butt into it. He made me hope. He said, I think you deserve better than to be harassed by this guy for the rest of your life. I think you deserve to have a good life. I think you deserve to be happy. You don't butt into people, my dating relationships, bitch. You don't do it. They'll make you pay. You're paying in ways you never had to before. Are you not? We'll make sure of it. The cops do that to bad guys. That's what they do. Real cops. Not TPD meter-made cops. Real cops. Okay. We're waiting for TPD to show us they're better than that. We're waiting. Somebody said TPD has had a hard time explaining why they've not collected any evidence or investigating a fucking thing she said, and that's not gender discrimination. And so now we may have to look into the Houston compound thing. Oh shit. Poor you. We'll get you a tissue. You want to look at my computer? We wanted to look at her computer, but they fucked up her school, so she doesn't take her computer to do her homework anymore to work. Yeah, we needed her to have in a situation where we had to prove what she said, and the burden of proof is on her, and they had 3 chances, and they blew it all 3 times. Yep, you did. It's fun. You've shot yourself in the foot more times than we can count. What is that? Did you? Did you have both Mays County and Rogers County watching for when I go back to the club? Why? For what reason? Why? One of them needs to come in. Richard, come in and talk to me, and I'll show you the traffic victims and what they're doing. Are you really interested in solving crime, Richard, or beating down a woman who's catching the crime you're ignoring? I mean, you tell us. Look at that. Is Richard Mays County or is he TPD? What about Al? Al, are you TPD? Why don't you come? Yeah, it's not your jurisdiction. You're TPD. Well, come in there and bring a Mays County guy with you, detective, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Dude, what about Godivas? Have you looked in there? Have you watched what's going on? Can you tell? If you're looking at human trafficking, can you tell? Because I can look at it and tell. Can you? Why do we not see TPD making arrests of human trafficking? You do see that out of Oklahoma City, although it is always low-hanging fruit. They're not going after the head. To kill the snake, you got to go after the head. The head is David Roberson and Lucius. Statewide. I'm calling it like I see it. There's a reason they retaliate against me. There's a reason I'm broke. That's why. But at the end of the day, the objective is catch the bad guy. A lot of people want to take credit for this when it's big. So then it's over. And everybody, we can tell victims you're safe now. He won't hurt you anymore. We slayed your dragon. We took your hurt away. And now you're safe. I think on the top wall of every police department, this is about we're going to send her home and harass her until when she complains about it, we'll pretend we're victims. See the date on that, Mr. Perry? This is why Judge Kirkendall said, I think you need to leave her alone. Why are you always in Oklahoma? She's the one with all the injury. Looks to me like you're provoking. So when you leave her alone, We'll see what happens on Facebook. I'm not seeing you being harassed on Facebook. I'm seeing her talk about your crime. And there's nothing political. It's all crime. It's not a political ad, dum-dum. You need an attorney who can read or something. That's what she said was Kirkendall. How do I know that happened? You're being investigated, sir. As are judges. If any judge that you're in their courtroom, so are they. Judge Kirkendall was the only one that got it right. So far. Take her taillight out so she'll be pulled over. How many pullovers have you called in, Calvin? Yeah. Threw a brick at me on the freeway, and it busted my engine in two. Hit me this guy missed the wheel. This guy hit me. This was a hit and run, where I went into TPD and said, I have a hit and run, and I think it might be stalking related, and not only stalking related, but I'm supposed to testify for a cop, a man for policeman, and they don't want that. So I want to make sure that you get the information. Oh, we don't take evidence here. That's not how we do it here. Oh, yeah? Today it is. Listen, I grew up in 4 generations of police. I know exactly what police are supposed to do. I've got some helping me doing your job because you guys like being meter maids and shit, and that's the best you can do. So I have help. People doing what you should be doing. But I think that it's not completely your fault. We think that there's pressure being put on Chief Franklin, and so David and Lucius were saying the public wants Chief Franklin to run TPD, not you. We don't want you thugs running the police department. I think the voters sent that message loud and clear when they elected G.T. Bynum as the mayor and all the people that are serving on the city council. And they chose Chief Franklin to run the police department. They didn't appoint you. Okay, I'm just saying. Normally, that's what the public wants. Normal, civilized citizens want peace. They don't like crime. Read the polls. Charles, can you read a poll? Okay, there's the other one. They hit at the wheel. Another hit at the wheel. Another hit. By the way, Mays County, they tried again this weekend. The fucking truck tried again, but I was able to swerve out of his way. But he did make an attempt to hit me again on my way to work. So duly note that for the record. And then we got Mr. Powell looking for my whereabouts and then sending mail to an address that was legally protected by the state of Oklahoma's Attorney General's office. There it is right there. I guess I'll finally hear. This guy had asked me about 4 times, how'd you know Mike had to be begged to go? Which, then they try to say Chief Miller begged him to go. Well, but then it wouldn't be so important for you to have the answer to that question, would it? The only reason it's important for you to have the answer to that question that you asked me 4 times and sent a subpoena. We know you're a witness. We're going to tamper with you anyway. You get near me, Charles, I'll kick the fuck out of you. I'm so angry at what you've taken from me and what you've done to those kids in Houston and what you've done to my kids and what you did to the Neelys and the Millers and their kids, that the anger and animosity against you alone, I'll put you in a coma. You are one hated fuck. That's why we get the help and you get told on. You guys are fucking hated. We get the help, you get told on. People don't like crime. Are you upset that she keeps finding out before? This is my email to the Florida State's attorney. He was drugged. Didn't do it. Got the wrong guy. March 2020. In May, they take depositions of first responders. May, March, April, May. 2 months later. We gave him Narcan for opioid overdose. He was dying of opioid overdose, not being hit in a fight. I would have brought that out to the jury. Why Gene Mitchell wants to be your bitch. Okay, I wouldn't. I'm sleeping in my car so that I'm not, right? Not now, but I have. Sleeping in my car because you retaliated against me. And you concealed my testimony intentionally from that jury. Because had the jury heard me talk, Mr. Neely would be home with his family right now, and you know that. Everyone knows that. You think everybody's stupid like you, and they're not. So, it wasn't put on the docket till June or July. When you contact me, Princess Cuckoo Bird, we always get more. I knew before. When you contact me, we get more. We get it before. You invade my privacy, they invade yours. They got a court order. You got a weirdo problem and no power. You can't control it. No impulse control and a very low IQ. You fit the biology theory of criminology. What criminology is the study of what in the fuck made that guy do that? Why in the fuck would anyone do that? Yeah. Everyone wants to know the answer to that question. This is my subpoena. Or I'm on the list of people who're supposed to testify. See? And you impeded it because you didn't like what I had to say, and then you retaliated against me. We can't let her live in Oklahoma. She's catching my crime, and I don't like that. Thank you for telling me I'm right on the money. Appreciate it. We're taking that as a confession, sir. Point out for me the marks. This is his arrest report. Just a red swollen right hand. IV in it, dum-dum. We can't let her live in... we got to get her back to Texas where you can do more to her. Got me kicked out of my home. That's what the guy said. She's saying that her guys recorded them. We get it before. Every time you contact me, we get stuff like this. You take from me, they take from you. You invade my privacy, they invade yours. They got court orders to do that, though. And you're just a fucking weirdo. Okay, so 2-9. There's a COVID moratorium, and normally we would take her money so she can't pay her bills, interfering with contracts and commerce with intent to coerce. But there's a COVID moratorium, so we'll have to do it on smoking. A few days later, wow, look at that. She did on smoking specifically. Calvin, got your name out of that. If I have your name and I haven't met you, you should shit yourself. And if you weren't stupid, you would. What does it mean that I have your name? What are we going to do with all this? Nothing? Yeah, in your dreams. Okay, so this guy says, until Mr. Perry gets a grip on reality, it'll happen again tomorrow. She said people are offended and uncomfortable with the crap they're doing. Crime tends to offend and upset people. Nobody likes crime. So that's why she's getting the help, and he's getting told on, and it'll happen again tomorrow. Until he's arrested, it's going to keep, or gets a grip on reality. You're provoking, you're getting told on. You're menacing, you're getting told on. You're peeping and creeping, you're getting told on. You caused me the loss of even an eyelash, you get told on. You can live with your choices, can't you, Princess Cuckoo Bird? Right? Yep. Why don't women just throw themselves at you? I mean, we're just, all this kidnapping shit. Lots and lots on kidnapping. And the doppelganger. And the frame-up of the murder. And the shoe prints. And you tried to use shoes I bought after August 2nd when you had my stuff stolen. And this murder situation came up in like 2021, 2022. I don't even know when the person died or where they were. But I don't party because I don't have any friends. You ran my friends off. So you would have to explain how in the hell did I end up at a party. And the doppelganger that you have found has darker skin. She's heavier than me and blonder hair. And we know that. We've talked about it for years. I think we even said, what'd you do? Put her on a diet? You want her to change her hair the same color as mine? So you had people start asking me what hair color I use. And then you start pushing me to go get tan. We're going to make you broke, but go pay for tanning services. Somebody said that. You keep talking about wanting her to tan, but you won't let her make the money. You got to pay for that. It's not free. Saeed got me an Infiniti Q45. He made sure I had a job. He created a job. And he made sure we all made money. And you can't keep up. I don't do canned food. I don't do canned food. I don't do rapist. I don't do alleged cop killer or alleged pedophile. I don't do Peep and Tom. And you have been sent a bill, and you owe the money, $1,000 a day for using my body for your entertainment and your little imaginary love life, and for profit. You don't get to use taxpayer-funded resources to facilitate an illegal act of trafficking for your profit. You're in a lot of trouble, sir. Mays County, if you want me to show you how to spot trafficking, I'm happy to do it. If you don't know how to spot it, I'll show you how to spot it. It's, it's not that easy to do. Maybe if you're just like haven't had some kind of extra. Okay, so, I mean, they have classes on this shit. Go take the classes. That's what Lucky and Mike were doing. They had a death at Lakeshore, actually, where I was, that appeared to be natural causes, but there was some reason to believe that it could have been a murder. So they went to take this class because they were still trying to determine was it a murder or a natural causes. And I think the guy was sick and not taking his medication as he should, and he had, I want to say, congestive heart failure. And he died. And so initially they think he died of congestive heart failure. But there was a girlfriend situation that was very complicated, and I think she was supposed to get some money when he died or something. So then they were checking into whether or not there was a problem with pills, her getting into his pills or something. Anyways, they were trying to figure out. I can imagine that would be not easy to determine whether someone has died sometimes from suicide or from natural causes or from murder when the person is sick and they've got a history. So we have a Justice Scalia situation that's similar, right? Where William or Richie said, I'm thinking this could have been a murder. When we look at the criminals and the offenders that are involved in this situation and what they've done to me and what they did to Mike, the possibility exists that Justice Scalia was murdered. William O'Ritchie is a D.C. commander of the murder cops in Washington, D.C. police, and immediately questioned that Justice Scalia is in West Texas, where I was and Mr. Perry was all at that same time, and they were planning to send me home, harass the fuck out of me, provoke and harass and menace, and then claim they were being harassed when I talked about it. When a woman screams, "Leave me alone," she's not the one doing the harassing. But you wanted to lie and perpetrate a fraud upon the highest court in the land. And everybody in that jail was talking about it. The first thing I told Ted when he picked me up was, here's what they're trying to do. He said, get rid of your phone. And I did. And then, Justice Scalia was the judge upon the court at the time who upheld flag burning as free speech, and you were concerned about how he would decide on your fraud. He's hunting in West Texas. D.C. homicide commander William O'Ritchie, who's, I guess, former retired, immediately questioned it, and he said, why was protocol not followed when Justice Scalia died, as it would have been had he died in D.C.? They did some weird shit over in West Texas. He wasn't in some other place in the country. He was in right there, right where you were, right where I was, and while you were planning that, it wasn't some random time, and it wasn't some random place. It was right there, right then. And that's your M.O. That is your M.O. You poison. You switch out pills. You kill with drugs. What's the preferred weapon of a snake? Poison. And when you started doing this shit to me, you started getting caught. Lucius Betancourt. Alright, so we documented all that on the blog. Here's the disclaimer. That is connecting the dots. Here's what cops are supposed to do when they get a vandalism complaint or stalking. We don't take evidence here. TPD has not once taken my evidence, properly collected it, bagged it and tagged it, logged it in, and investigated. Never once. They told me, not one time but twice, we don't do that here. Wow, this isn't a police department then. It's not a police department. Surely you can do better in your career in law enforcement than to be the bitch of a sex weirdo. Right? This is about, they clone the phone of the victim or hack it so they know where they are. This woman says he was always showing up where I was, and I didn't call him and invite him. So how'd he know? He's gotten in my phone. Right, Mr. Perry? That's what you do? Okay. So the case about Justice Scalia, we're saying there's a hypothesis Mr. Perry can prove or disprove. Or our guys will prove it or disprove it in their case. Okay, so we go over the Scalia case, we go over Mike's case, we go over mine. When he tried to kill me, and I didn't die, so he false arrested me. So I'm in jail, and they're planning the next one. And Justice Scalia is there too and dies in West Texas. Not some random place, not some random time, right then, right there. And Michael Neely and Chief Miller weren't some random cops. They were my cops that just took my report where I lived. And that happened. But you had to coax them to Pensacola to do it. Because what? Chief Ridley would not have gone along with that. Oklahoma police would not have helped you with that. You had to get him to a different state. He didn't say, here's the marks and injuries on you that looks like you beat Chief Miller to death. He said it appears he was beat to death. So why did I not testify? What are you afraid of? We can't let her live in Oklahoma. What are you afraid of? You look desperate and pathetic. That means I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm right, or you wouldn't care. Yep. So we've got that all detailed, chapter and verse here on this. Anybody can look at it. Anyone from law enforcement from anywhere can also look at the public record court dockets, can't they? Yep. Okay, this is your human trafficking page, dedicated just to Mr. Perry for his human trafficking crime. Why is Oklahoma City Police only going after low-hanging fruit? Why aren't they going after Lucius and Geppetto the witch? You know, it's common for human traffickers to hire a witch to cast spells on the victims so they think it will get their cooperation. And Geppetto's and David's arguing with him, why can't you get this to work? And Geppetto's like, I think she has sage. By the way, also, I can see into the spiritual realm, and that woman is covered with angels everywhere. Bunch of angels around her. I can't get through. In fact, one time I felt one push me back. Yeah, I'm not perfect, but I believe God is who he says he is. He's my God. This battle is the Lord's. You come at me with spears and javelins and all your threats and crap, and I come at you with the name of the Lord God. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is my God. That same God. Okay, Geppetto. I believe Joel Osteen is one of my favorite preachers. That doesn't mean he's helping me. I know you guys ask that question all the time. Maybe it's Osteen helping her. No, Osteen's not in the loop. But God is the same God of Joel Osteen and me. We serve the same God. I'm not super Christian, but I just believe God. Abraham believed God, and he counted it unto him as righteousness. That's all God asked for, is that we believe him. He doesn't always do what we want him to do when we want him to do it, but he'll do it better than we ever imagined. That I know. And for a witch who was hired to cast spells on me to actually tell David Roberson, I think she has sage, which I don't have sage actually. But one thing is for sure, is I was allowed to see, Geppetto, God and only God can allow you to see into the spiritual realm. So if you saw angels around me, God wanted you to see that. And if you felt one push you back, he wanted you to feel that. So why would he do that? Why would he allow you, a witch, to see into the spiritual realm, to see me buried in angels and big ones, and literally feel pushed back? Why would he want you to experience that? Because he did not have to let you experience that. So I would think about that if I were you. Okay, so here's the whole gamut of all the, the blasted trafficking crap they do. Trafficking it comes with a life sentence, Larry. I can sue the fuck out of you too. You've made an illegal contract, and you have deprived me of food and shelter. Sir, you think I would help you, or go along with you, or have a conversation with you? Were you the one that said today, do you think she's open to a conversation? And my answer to you is, fuck you. You are off your nut. My answer is no, and every pressure that you put on me to try to facilitate delivery of a trafficking victim so that you can rape me and make money is coercion and witness tampering, and you're going to jail. Just like that. We're not doing this for nothing. No other victim has all this stuff before. They don't have it at all. But I do. Okay? Why is it different when you do it to me? We've got, this is Mike's case. We've chapter and versed it out here. Okay? You're retaliating me against me because I caught it, aren't you? You got here's Charles Wacky Jackie problems, right? That's my granddad. I grew up in the house, Mr. Perry. When you contact me, we get the answers you get told on. What the fuck is wrong with you? This, I grew up in that, my family had the power in the town where I grew up. So, I mean, I was around a lot of power in Vegas. I'm not impressed with some little podunk, nobody new guy. Yeah, you didn't have anything to attack, weirdo. I mean, we ran into famous people in Vegas all the time. So why would we be impressed with you? Yeah, we're not. Okay, so there's Mike's case. There's Charles's whack job problems. Only God could let you get a disease, Mr. Perry, not cancer, not diabetes, but whack jaw problem. Only God could allow that. Why do you suppose he did that? Maybe you don't think about that a little bit. Okay, so, Mr. Perry, please stop contacting me. Please do not contact me again. You're fucking creeping me the hell out. I don't think you're hot. I don't think you're sexy. I don't think you're smart. I think you're vulgar, rapist, sicko. And the more you contact me, the more pissed off I get. And when I get pissed off, the guys get pissed off. And then we start finding out everything you said all day long. You're not getting the help we are. You are hated. You are fucking hated, all of you. So we got, this is the guy that came into my work to solicit prostitution, recorded, and the transcripts are here. And anybody can read that. Okay, so I've quit school because they took my money. You had to pay for school. So for that, you paid for it with intel about the Houston compound. They make you pay in ways you've never had to pay before. The intel will be used for an arrest and a conviction. And the more intel we get, the easier a conviction will be, don't you think? Lucius, do you have mental problems too? David? Okay, so I'm certified in crisis management. I don't like dealing with that, though, believe me. This is emergency management, and my grades, while you're trying to traffic me, while you're getting me kicked out of my homes and taking everything I have and starving me to death, I got a 3.6 GPA. I'm turning homework in. They're telling my professors don't grade it. I still got a 3.6 GPA. Not bad. But I'll tell you what, when I get my diploma, University of Phoenix is not going to be on it. And I will get my diploma. By the way, my degree program, criminal justice. Yeah, I studied criminology. Why in the fuck would anyone do that? Low IQ for you? There's social thing, there's social, there's economic, there's socioeconomic reasons. Then for you, it's biology. Low IQ and no impulse control. Okay, this we heard in the movie City of Lies with Johnny Depp and Forrest Whitaker when he says, if you call police, do you trust that they will show up and do their job for you? Do you in Tulsa if you live in Tulsa? What about Bixby? What about Jinx? What about Broken Arrow? What about Mason County, Rogers County? Is there going to, do you trust that there might be gender discrimination or race discrimination against you, either way? Or do you trust that they will protect you and make you safe? Because law enforcement has one job. Relieve suffering caused by crime. That's all you're supposed to do all day long. Make people safe. That's it. And that was my granddad's mantra. That's what I believe that should be put on every wall when you walk into a police department. That should be on the wall. I believe at the top it should say you're safe now. And underneath it, as lawmen, we are called to relieve suffering caused by crime. Relieve it, not cause it. Don't be all meter maid and help the bad guy. Harass a woman. Be excellent at what you do, because your name is on your work. That is forever your legacy and your reputation forever. Sometimes what happens is people die, and the shit they did and hid comes out then, and your kids are stuck with that forever. So make sure that whatever it is you do all day, you do it excellently. You do it with excellence, that you're extraordinary every single day, knowing that you're going to go home and look your children and your grandchildren in the eye, and you be proud of what you did all day, or you be ashamed of what you did all day. Charles Perry, contacted me again just now, and what have I said? You never get information. We always do. Your contact makes me pissed off. It's disgusting. Get out of my phones, you sick son of a bitch. I will never help you. What is wrong with you? He does this all damn day. Yeah. Mark, get your client to work. If he wants to be like Ted Cruz, he needs to go work like Ted Cruz. All he does all day is ask about leaks. It is embarrassing. And he never gets an answer. We get answers. It's been that way for years. And that stupid little fuck keeps doing the same thing that gets us answers. He has to want to be caught. There's no way he doesn't. You don't do the same thing for this long if you're not getting exactly what you want out of that. He never gets answers. I will never help him. I will never help him. I want to help the victims, not you. People don't give a shit about you. You don't matter. The victims do. Why can't you get that, stupid? Okay, so you have to, my granddad died, and I could have had to make excuses for him and apologize for him, but I didn't. I get to brag about him and who he was and the legacy that he left us. And so each person has that same choice. And make sure you can live with your choices. Right? Because sometimes this shit doesn't come out until long after you're gone. And your kids and your grandkids and your grandkids are stuck with whatever that is. Either apologizing for you and making excuses for you, or bragging about you. So make sure that when you finish up your day, that you can go home and look your kids in the eye and say, I'm very proud of what I did today. I helped a lot of people. And that's my legacy to you. And you want you to pass that on to your kids. You perform with excellence every single day, and you be extraordinary every single day. And when you do that, then you'll see extraordinary things happen. Amazing things that will make a mark on history forever. And that's your legacy. And that's something that your kids then can brag about, and that will bless the life of another person and their kids. And you never know how you touch a person and who you touch. Baron Batch wrote an article in the Odessa newspaper. I think he was a football player for Texas Tech, and he had an injury, and it delayed his football and his graduation a year, and because he had to heal. And he wrote an article called ripples or something, when ripples collide, or something like that. Like when you throw a rock in the lake and it ripples out, and sometimes it collides into other ripples. It was something to that effect, and he said that he wrote an article about how that situation, how he dealt with the situation. I think it was a 2-part article, and I only read the second part. But some man was getting ready to kill himself, and he laid it out on the paper, and the newspaper on the floor, so his family wouldn't have to clean up the mess. And he started reading Baron Batch's article, and he decided not to kill himself. And he runs into Baron Batch at a grocery, and he's telling him, "You saved my life." And Baron Batch is like, "What? You saved my life? I was about to kill myself. I was spreading out newspaper on the floor, and so that my family wouldn't have to clean my brains up off the carpet. And I read your article. It was on the newspaper on the floor. And it made me change my mind." And Baron Batch said, had I not gotten the injury and delayed my graduation a year, I wouldn't have written the article. And that man would be dead today. So you never know how you can affect someone else's life in a positive way forever. If you perform with excellence and you be extraordinary every single day, and you make people safe, and you do your job, and you show up and you do your job, and you're not just mean or made, but you're excellent and you're effective, and you catch the bad guys. Now, any cop that wants to go out to Sensations next time I'm there, and you want me to explain how you spot the human trafficking, the signs, the flags, I didn't tell the owner. He can't do a damn thing. He doesn't have subpoena power. He can't run an investigation. So I don't even talk to him about that crap. It's a matter for law enforcement. So I don't talk to him about it. I've never talked to him about it. after the one girl who she was selling drugs and laundering money through the stage tips for drug sales, long after she was gone, she left the state. She didn't even live in Oklahoma anymore. Then I told his son, this was what was happening. This is what she was doing. And he goes, wow. Wow. Yeah. He goes, I can't believe she thought of that. I said, I'm not sure she thought of that, but somebody thought of that. What? And he goes, how, you can't prove that. I go, I know. So that's why we didn't talk to you about it. Because what do? You go ask her, and she's going to say, no, I'm not doing that. You can't prove she's not doing it or is doing it. And you're going to piss her off, and maybe her drug dealer too, and maybe they come after you and her too. I mean, you don't want to endanger somebody like that who has no power to do a damn thing about it, so we just don't talk about it. We don't talk about it at all. But if you're in law enforcement and you want to catch the bad guy, then I go, well, this is how you can tell that this individual is a trafficking victim, and watch the money. Watch what happens. Follow the money. Follow the money. And you can get subpoenas for phones and start reading texts and find out, does she work for David Roberson and Lucius and those guys or not? It's not that hard. Okay. So, that's it. I mean, we don't know what to tell you. Okay. He's the menace. He's going where she is. Charles Perry comes where I am. He's done. I just showed you all the car vandalism. And that there's still, I didn't show you what I reported to Mike. There was even more than that. There's been more than that since. I don't always call the cops. Guess what? I have cops from somewhere else. They're on it. So I don't need to call locals. And I've not been helped by locals, so I'm not going to keep calling. I'm not doing it. So, I mean, I don't need that. I don't need them. We don't call them. We got somebody else helping me. When I first got here, had they handled my police reports right then we would probably call them now, but we don't. You need to work in a partnership with the police and the victim and the prosecutor in order to get a stalker or a person who might be stalking to human traffic. And that's what it says in Connecting the Dots, and they've not done that. So I have no reason to call locals. I've never called locals over every little thing. I just don't. But there's somebody else they gave me the Fabian puzzle and told me Mike was drugged and all that stuff. And about Kirkendall saying, I think you need to leave her alone so that I can rule out, you're provoking. You're doing what Neil's doing here. You're provoking. Because her screaming, leave me alone, is not the crime. She's not harassing him by screaming, leave me alone. Mr. Perry, for 9 years, has been in Oklahoma where I came. I moved 2 times to get away from him. Twice. He's a rejected fucking failure. Too stupid to move on like the rest of us. He's not wanted. He's not loved. But he's told on every day, all day long. He's yuck. He's very, very yuck. And he's icking his slime all over us in Oklahoma. And we're all tired of it. We don't have any problems getting help. And you have no problems being told on. You're hated. Nobody invited you here. So I moved twice, started my life all over, and my child. At the time, my son was like I said, a freshman in high school. And that was in 2014. And no one invited you here, so why are you here? Why is he in Oklahoma? Why is he talking to her family and she's not? That is the most fucked up thing I've ever seen. So, he's harassing her, screaming, leave me alone all the time. It's not harassment, you stupid son of a bitch. Leave everybody alone. Just leave everybody alone. If you want to be Ted Cruz, go work like Ted Cruz. And stop bothering me. I don't help you, I'll never help you. We control the flow of information, David. And the more you run around telling everybody, she can't live in Oklahoma, take her car, the more pathetic and desperate and guilty you look. So, there's that.
I don't want proof of this. Please leave me alone.
Hey, men, leave women the fuck alone. When they're in public, when they're doing anything, you don't have the right to their attention. You don't have the right to step into their personal space. You don't have the right to them, especially if they're making it very clear they don't want to be talked to. But even when they're not, unless a woman is giving you enthusiastic and continuous body language and signs that she wants to talk to your ugly dumb ass, then leave her the fuck alone. Find a date a different way. Okay? It's not clever. It's not cool. It's not cute. It's garbage. It's absolute garbage behavior. And you're a garbage person if you do it. I don't care if it's in public. It doesn't fucking matter. You don't have the right to her. You need to leave her alone. And this is Bacon.
That's okay. I don't care.